Namaste, Jai Hind, Vande Mataram. I'm Anand Narasimhan and you're on the right stand. The ongoing legal dispute over the Bhojshala-Kamal Maula Mosque complex in Dhar in Madhya Pradesh has entered a significant new phase following findings submitted by the Archaeological Survey of India, or the ASI. The centrally protected monument, long regarded as both a site of Hindu reverence and Islamic worship, is now at the center of renewed legal and historical scrutiny after the ASI's scientific survey, excavation and documentation efforts. According to the ASI's reported findings, the present mosque structure incorporates architectural and sculptural elements that appear to belong to a pre-existing temple dating to the Parmara period or the period of the Parmara dynasty. The ASI's investigation reportedly involved ground-penetrating surveys, stratigraphic excavation, architectural mapping, and study of epigraphic material. The officials have indicated that several pillars, carved fragments, and inscribed stones embedded within the mosque structure exhibit stylistic and iconographic features characteristic of the Parmara-era temple architecture. Sanskrit and Prakrit inscriptions, some allegedly damaged or reused within later masonry, have been cited as further evidence pointing toward an earlier temple complex at the site. Now, before we dive into the ASI's findings, here is an overview of the Bhojshala itself. The Bhojshala is traditionally associated with the reign of Raja Bhoj, one of medieval Bharat's most celebrated scholar kings. Ruling in the 11th century, Raja Bhoj was renowned not only as a political leader but as a patron of philosophy, astronomy, medicine, grammar and architecture. Under his reign, Dhar emerged as a major intellectual center, serving as the capital of the Parmara dynasty. Now, historical accounts and inscriptions suggest that Bhojshala functioned both as a temple dedicated to goddess Saraswati, the deity of knowledge, learning and arts, and as a prominent Sanskrit learning center. It represents a broader civilizational tradition in India, where temples were not merely ritual spaces but hubs of education, debate and intellectual discourse. Now, in this sense, Bhojshala symbolized Malwa's scholarly prestige and the fusion of spiritual and academic pursuits. Architecturally, the site reflects the Parmara style of temple construction, characterized by intricate carvings, geometric motifs, and classical craftsmanship. The presence of Sanskrit inscriptions strengthens the argument for its role as a scholastic institution. One significant epigraphic element, often referred to as the Saraswati inscription, links the site with traditions of grammar and literary scholarship. The sculptural vocabulary and structural features suggest an advanced level of temple artistry consistent with the Parmara era. Now, for many Hindus, Bhojshala holds particular importance during Vasant Panchami, the festival dedicated to goddess Saraswati. Devotees traditionally seek blessings for learning, arts and wisdom at sites associated with the goddess. The complex is thus viewed as a sacred continuation of Bharat's long-standing reverence for knowledge and scriptural learning, as well as evidence of medieval scholastic networks in central Bharat. The ASI's recent investigation reports that several architectural elements of the mosque appear to have been derived from an earlier temple structure. Now, among the findings cited are Sanskrit and Prakrit inscriptions that were reportedly damaged and reused, pillars identified as belonging to a pre-existing temple incorporated into the mosque structure, sculptural fragments including remains of figures identified as Ganesh, Brahma and other deities. Approximately 94 sculptural remains recovered during the investigation, human and animal figures that appear to have been chiseled or defaced, structural evidence suggesting that pre-existing building dates to the Parmara dynasty. Now, these findings have been presented as material evidence that a temple structure predated the mosque construction at the site. The fresh archaeological claims have now added evidentiary material to ongoing legal arguments, with stakeholders debating questions of historical continuity, structural transformation, ownership and religious rights. The debate has also invoked principles articulated in the 2019 Ayodhya judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court of India. In that verdict, the court clarified several constitutional principles regarding mosques. A mosque is not considered an essential and indispensable part of Islamic practice in the sense that namaz can be offered anywhere, including in open spaces. While the practice of namaz is constitutionally protected, a specific site is not inherently indispensable. A mosque does not enjoy immunity from state acquisition. Religious sites do not override constitutional property law. Mosques do not have higher constitutional protection than other places of worship. Title disputes must be decided on evidence, not theology. Discussions around Bhojshala also reference classical Islamic jurisprudence concerning the conditions under which a mosque may be validly established. Islamic law, and as per the RJB judgment also, Islamic law prohibits the construction of a mosque on stolen or usurped land. If the foundation is unlawful, the religious endowment is considered invalid. Lawful ownership and voluntary dedication are essential prerequisites. A mosque should not be built on land under active legal dispute. Constructing a mosque amid unresolved claims is viewed in many juristic traditions as a potential cause of injustice and social conflict. The land designated for a mosque must be ritually pure. It should not be associated with misuse or impurity unless property cleansed and restored. Islamic jurisprudence also discourages building a mosque with the intention of creating division, rivalry, or political provocation. The intention or niyat behind construction is considered morally and legally significant. The question remains, has this evidence yet again exposed the mission of Islamist invaders to crush Sanatan Dharma, the practice of Hindu philosophy, Hindu way of life? What does this do to the campaign for the right to pray at such sites? And does it put the lens again on Places of Worship Act, where it said that the perennial nature of that particular site is sacrosanct? What is the perennial nature of a place which has all the marks of being a temple and a place of worship, which was superseded, and on that was built another place of prayer? That's the big question. Harishankar Jainji, senior advocate with us, Dr. Anand Ranganathan with us. Now, similar instances of what has happened at Gyanvapi is visible at Bhojshala. Similar instances of what happened at Ram Janmabhoomi is also visible at Bhojshala. Harishankar Jainji, namaste. Thank you for your time. Dr. Ranganathan, namaste. Harishankar Jainji, how significant are the ASI's findings and what happens next?
The Honorable Supreme Court has directed the High Court to invite objection against ASI report. ASI report was filed about 2 years back. That is lying, because there was an order of the Supreme Court not to proceed in the case till the matter is pending the Supreme Court. Now the Supreme Court has cleared the matter and has directed that the case be heard finally, and before that objection be invited against report, ASI report, within 15 days. That is why yesterday the Honorable High Court has directed the parties to submit their objections, suggestion, whatever they want to say on the report, fixing 16th March 2026. Thereafter, now a date will be fixed for hearing. On that date, the objections as well as the hearing on merits shall take place. Yes. Actually,
Ji.
it is a clear case when a temple was demolished and a so-called structure was raised. At the present, above the structure, there is no mosque. No mosque appears. They said there was a mosque. I have in the picture which we are showing. There is nothing. There is a big hall, all the three corners, and there is place for Havan. Muslim intentionally and without any reason, they go and offer namaz there due to reason that on 7/4/2003, Director ASI, without hearing the parties, without any reason, permitted them to offer namaz there, without determining whether it is a temple or a mosque. That is why they filed a petition for questioning that order, as well as to direct the authorities to treat it as a temple, and worship may be allowed to be offered there.
But Harishankar
But
Jain ji,
pending-
does the ASI
In the
have...
meantime,
Okay, sir, please complete. Please complete. Then I'll ask my question. Please complete.
I'm coming on that. I'm
Ji.
coming. I moved an application before the Honorable High Court to direct ASI to submit report after investigation, that is scientific investigation. ASI has submitted the report, a lengthy report with all pictures, with videography, and that very clear that nobody can say that it was a mosque. Only one thing that can be said, that it was a temple, and even today it is a temple. Nothing has been found regarding mosque. And a number of artifacts, number of idols, the signs and symbols of Hindu worship that has been recovered by SI. And that is also lying in a room that we proved before the court.
Now,
In substance,
ji,
I want to say that after SI report, nobody can say that from any angle, director could have said that you can offer namaz on Fridays. It is unfortunate. And the only reason is that Hindu public is sleeping over his right. They are doing nothing. And petitions after petitions have been filed by Muslims at Indore High Court, Indore bench of the High Court. Now, with God's blessings, we filed the present petition in 2022, and now the Hindu petition is there, the Muslim petition is also there, and all will be heard. And not only this, we approved land number on which we stand, Kamal Maula Mosque is nothing, and that does not exist. There is a sarovar, a kund, that also lies near the Saraswati Pathshala and temple. Actually, as he was saying, it was Raja Bhoj, a Parma dynasty in sometime 1134 perhaps. He had constructed the Hindu Jain temple and teaching place for studying Sanskrit grammar and Ved. For that purpose it was constructed.
the
And
same...
very huge
Ji.
and magnificent. And you will surprise that like Ajodhya, it is very important for the citizens of Madhya Pradesh particularly. Though it is very important so far as the other Hindus are concerned of the rest of the country. But for Madhya Pradesh, it is their soul and heart. And their belief is that this is the temple we should be allowed to worship because it is goddess Saraswati,
Yeah,
जिसको कहते हैं ज्ञान की देवी.
ji.
उनको we are being deprived to worship ज्ञान की देवी. And you will also surprised to note, earlier excavation by SI had taken place, and the idol of goddess Saraswati, Vagdevi, इसको बोलते Vagdevi, was found,
Vagdevi.
and Britishers took it with them, and that is lying in British Museum even today. That is lying. Though in a mutilated condition.
So-
We will try
so-
to get it back. That
Ji.
is second aspect.
Ji. So,
First,
a
we are
Khandit
going
Murti
to
exists.
demand
The
that in
Khandit Murti of Vagdevi exists. The reference to Saraswati. 11th century, just around the time Somnath temple was invaded and rebuilt, and again the Parmaras contributed to the reconstruction of the Somnath temple. So there is a Shiva connection also there. The fact that this, how does the ASI, I just want to ask you, Harishankar Jain ji, before I bring in Dr. Ranganathan, does the ASI have any authority to allow somebody to offer namaz or prayer at a particular place? Can the ASI do that? Because even in Sambal, the ASI never took back a property that actually is supposed to be under the ASI. They had allowed them to do whatever they want in that area in Sambal in UP also.
Very good question, and I will reply. Actually, after independence, ASI is working under the pressure of Muslims, and Hindus have not been given justice by ASI at any point of time. Kindly consider, in Ancient Monument Act 1958, so in section 16, there is provision that the monument under ASI shall not be used for any purpose inconsistent with the religious character of the monument. It is well provided. ASI has not determined the religious character of the building. It was the first time that only under High Court's order ASI had to go and had to prepare the report. Before that, before passing order dated 7/4/2003, ASI did not undertake any exercise to establish whether it is a mosque, and without any rhyme or reason, without any investigation, and without any out of evidence, ASI permitted them to offer namaz on a particular day, that is Friday. And I say that as sabotage has been done with Hindu public, and actually this is exercise by me, arbitrary exercise, and I say that Hindus should have retaliated against this action in early time.
Right.
But we are sleeping, and I can say Justice Kuldeep Singh.
Ji.
Justice Kuldeep Singh in Indira Gandhi case, the Mandal Commission case, has rightly said, here we were divided and saying, come and rule us. This was the phenomena which has been stated by Honorable Justice Kuldeep Singh in 1994.
Okay.
अरे हम लोग बैठे हुए थे, बिखरे हुए, आओ कब्जा करो ले जाओ.
नहीं, वही
And when-
not just that, sir.
Yeah,
Not just that, sir. Harishankar Janji, I'm just bringing in Dr. Ranganathan. Even if we look at the convoluted Places of Worship Act, which again is bad in law, because Islam does not have worship, it has only prayer. So that Places of Worship Act looks like targeting only Sanatan faith or the Sanatan practices, wherever worship happens. In that also it says that the actual original nature of that particular place as on 1947. Now, if we were to read that in conjunction with the Ram Janmabhoomi verdict, that once a place, the original nature is determined with what came there first. So, Bhojshala is a Hindu place.
Good evening, Anand, and good evening to my fellow panelists. First of all, let me just say that I feel blessed truly to be sharing the stage with Hari Jain ji. This nation owes a profound debt of gratitude to both Hari ji and Vishnu. And the fact of the matter is that we haven't grown to be a nation that recognizes people who are its heroes, because we gladly give Padmas and Padma Bhushans to convicted criminals and bribe takers. And here are two people who have done the most for the cause of Hindu Dharma and the resurgence of India as Bharat we know it. Anyway,
And they themselves are Jain.
and they are Jains, yes, indeed. So thank you so much for the profound service, Hari ji and Vishnu ji, both of you, who've done for the cause. Anand, just when one thought that the cries of Hindus to get justice were cries in the wilderness, thanks to the Jains comes a light, albeit flickering, at the end of this long secular tunnel that 1 billion Hindus have been forced in. Fact of the matter is, to deny to us our temple of divinity is to destroy for us our temple of democracy, keeping the most sacred of places away from Indians, not just the Hindus. This is not a religious issue for me. It is a civilizational issue. It is untenable and undemocratic. Ayodhya, Gyanvyapi, Mathura, Sambal, and now Bhojshala. The rights of our ancestors being reclaimed is catharsis for me. As a deliverance of justice, this is not about a particular mosque. This is about a legal claim. And remember, Anand, the only friend of justice is evidence. The ASI report on Bhojshala is based on GPR, carbon dating, analysis of architectural remains, inscriptions and scriptures. It concludes that number one, the existing structure, the Kamal Maula Mosque, was constructed using materials and parts from earlier temples. Number two, the pre-existing structure dates back to the Paramara dynasty, built during the reign of Raja Bhoj and his successors, with some inscriptions referencing King Naravarman, 1094 AD. Number three, A total of 94 sculptures, no less, and sculptural fragments of Hindu gods were recovered. And number 4, many sculptures, figures, and carvings show deliberate defacement. And finally, number 5, inscriptions in Sanskrit and Prakrit, along with architectural and sculptural evidence, such as the origin site was a large temple complex dedicated to goddess Saraswati, serving as a hub for literary and educational activities. Look, Anand, no one is digging. One doesn't need to dig. The non-invasive surface are enough to prove existence of temples underneath. Gyanvyapi, Mathura, and now Bhojshala. Every demolished temple must be resurrected. Every shivling unearthed. Every idol reclaimed. As I said, Anand, this is all about a legal claim. The Places of Worship Act 1991 that you referenced must now be abrogated by the Modi government. What are you waiting for? Anand, the Place of Worship Act is an act, quote, to prohibit conversion of any place of worship and provide for the maintenance of the religious character of any place of worship as it existed on the 15th day of August 1947. But here is the caveat. This act does not apply to any place of worship which is an ancient and historical monument or an archaeological site or remains covered under the Amara Act. Now, it is but obvious that the Bhojshala Mosque is an ancient and historical monument. It may even be covered by the Amara Act, and therefore the Place of Worship Act should not apply to it. Point number 2, very important, but here is the tragedy. A legal recourse to correct historical injustice cannot be denied in a democracy. Historical injustices that are not covered by Amara can now never be addressed unless Parliament overrides the Place of Worship Act. Quote, no place of worship usurped or built upon another place of worship shall be allowed to be used as one unless its ownership is rightfully settled in court of law, unquote. This, according to me, should be the real Place of Worship Act. As simple as that. Single sentence. The one hallmark, just 30 seconds, Anand, of justice is that it has to be applied universally, because when one goes by logic, morality, first principles, objectivity, as science and law teach one to do, numbers don't matter. 4 or 40 or 40,000, each and every cry for justice must be heard. But when one goes by fear, emotion, coercion, subjectivity, numbers matter. Decide where you stand. To deny to us, as I said, our temple of divinity is to destroy for us our temple of democracy right before our eyes.
Well, we have a Jain and a Darwinian atheist arguing for the Bhojshala temple here on the right stand. Let's hope that the courts of the day, the government of the day, and the people themselves take the right stand. Because as we quoted the Ram Janmabhoomi judgment, viewers, and as per the Islamic rule and the book and the Shariat, a place of prayer for Islam has to be rightfully procured, cannot be built over another place of worship, using the material with which the previous place of worship had been built, unless the property has been taken and that entire place has been, as per Quranic rituals, sanctioned and cleansed. All of that doesn't seem to have happened in any of this. And those who argue that these were acts done so many centuries ago by people who did it by the dint of their sword for political Islam, the question remains, if they were done at that time and the current generation does not condone it, why is they being blocked and why are these places not being restored to their full Sanatan lustre? We leave it at that. Harishankar Jain ji, Dr. Ranganathan, thank you very much. Dr. Ranganathan, do stay on with us. Viewers, we just shift focus.